Hello grade 7 students. Today I will be discussing solving linear equations involving absolute value. So here are the steps in solving equations with absolute value. So number 1, isolate the absolute value in the equation. Step number 2, write two equations without absolute values. The first equation will set the quantity inside the bars equal to the number on the other side of the equal sign. The second equation will set the quantity inside the bars equal to the opposite of the number on the other side. And last step is to simply solve the two equations. So let's start. Let us have our first example. So given the equation, the absolute value of 3x is equal to 18, we need to solve for the value of x. So step number 1 is to isolate the absolute value in the equation. And as you can see, it is already isolated on the left side. So we can now proceed to the second step, and that is to have two equations. So your first equation is without the absolute value symbol and just writing positive 18. So that will be 3x equals 18. And the second equation is to get the opposite of 18, which is negative 18. So your second equation will be 3x equals negative 18. So our last step is to simply solve these two equations. And as we solve 3x equals 18, what are we going to do is just simply divide both sides of our equation by 3. So as we divide 3, okay, as we divide 3 by 3, so the answer will be 1. And then 18 divided by 3, the answer is 6. So the first value of x is 6. Let's go now to the second equation. So 3x equals negative 18. Same step. So we're just going to divide both sides of our equation by 3. So negative 18 divided by 3, the answer is negative 6. So therefore, the two values of x in the equation, the absolute value of 3x equals 18, are 6 and negative 6. Now, let us go to the second example. Given the equation, the absolute value of 5x plus 7 equals 42, let us now solve for the value of x. Again, step number 1, the absolute value is already isolated. So we can now proceed to step number 2. So our first equation is 5x plus 7 equals 42, again without the absolute value symbol. And then the second equation we need to get the opposite of 42, which is negative 42. So our equation will be 5x plus 7 equals negative 42. So as we solve for this one, we need to transpose 7 on the other side or on the right side. So it will be now negative 7. So 5x equals 42 minus 7 will give us 35. Dividing both sides of our equation by 5. So 5 divided by 5, the answer is 1. And then 35 divided by 5, the answer is 7. So now let us go to the second example. Second equation. So as we transpose 7 on the other side, on the right side, it will become negative. So 5x equals negative 42 minus 7 will give us negative 49. Dividing both sides of our equation by 5. So 5 divided by 5, the answer is 1. So remaining will just be x. And then 49 is not divisible by 5. So our final answer will be negative 49 over 5. So therefore, the two values are 7 and negative 49 over 5. Now, let us go to the third example. Solve for the value of x in the equation, the absolute value of x plus 6 minus 8 equals 5. So as you can see here, the absolute value is not yet isolated. So what are we going to do with negative 8? We have to move this one on the right side. So that will give us the absolute value of x plus 6 equals 5 plus 8. And we just need to combine these two. So we'll have 13. So the absolute value of x plus 6 equals 13. So as you can see, the absolute value is already isolated. So therefore, we can have here the two equations. So our first equation will just simply x plus 6 equals 13. And the second equation will be the opposite of 13, which is negative 13. And as we answer this one, just simply transpose 6 on the other side. So that will be negative. So x equals 13 minus 6 will give us 7. And on the second equation, transpose 6 on the other side. Again, So we'll have negative 13 minus 6. So be careful as you subtract these two integers. So having same sign, both negative, so we just simply add. So the answer here is negative 19. Okay, that's it. Now let us go now to the fourth example. So given the equation 5 times the absolute value of x minus 21 equals 40. So our first step is to isolate the absolute value by dividing both sides of our equation by 5. So as we divide both sides of equation by 5, so 5 divided by 5, the answer is 1. And then 40 over 5, the answer is 8. Now, let us make two equations. The first equation is x minus 21 equals 8 and x minus 21 equals negative 8. So, transpose negative 21 on the other side. So, we'll have x equals 8 plus 21, which is 29. And for the second one, x equals negative 8, transpose negative 21. So, it will become positive. So, that will be negative 8 plus 21 will give us 13. So therefore, the two values of x here will be 29 and 13. Okay, so let us now go to the fifth and last example. So given, or we need to solve for the value of x given the equation, the absolute value of x plus 2 over 3 equals 5. So as you can see, the absolute value symbol is already isolated, so we don't have any terms outside the outside the bars or the absolute value symbol. So we'll now proceed to step number 2 by making two equations. So your first equation will be x plus 2 over 3 equals 5 and x plus 2 over 3 equals negative 5. So as we answer this one, our first step is, of course, we have to remove the fraction by multiplying both sides of our equation by 3. So as we multiply both sides of the equation by 3, we can use cancellation here. Because 3 divided by 3, the answer will just be 1. So the remaining will just be x plus 3 equals 5 times 3, don't forget. So they will have 15. And then transpose 2 on the other side. So it will become 15 minus 2, which will give us 13. And on the second equation, okay, same step, multiplying both sides of our equation by 3. So 3 divided by 3, the answer will be 1. So remaining will just be again x plus 2 equals negative 5 times 3 will have negative 15. Transposing 2 on the other side, so it will become negative 15 minus 2 will give us negative 17. So therefore, the two values of x are 13 and negative 3. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you again on my next video. Thank you.